Hello, everyone, and welcome to Angel Healing House, and welcome to Walk In Angel Ariel's Weekly Wisdom for this upcoming week of July 23rd through July 29th, 2023. My name is Claire Candy Hoff, and my name is also Angel Ariel, as I had an angelic walk-in experience on January 11th of 2003, which I write about in my award-winning #1 Amazon International best-selling book, I Am an Angelic Walk-In, the autobiography of Angel Ariel. I'd like to welcome back my loyal subscribers, my followers. It's lovely to be in your energies once more. And thank you so much for liking and sharing and subscribing to help the Claire Candy Hoff YouTube channel to grow. If you are new to the channel, let me share a little bit about myself through my full-time business, which I created 20 years ago in 2003. My business is Angel Healing House. I am a Reiki master teacher, having taught hundreds and hundreds of Reiki practitioners and master teachers around the world. I am also a clairvoyant, psychic, a tarot card reader. I also do ancestral healings and past life clearings, as well as those wonderful transformative re-energizing and recharging Reiki energy healing sessions, which can be done through distant healing to anywhere in the world, and the intuitive counseling is done online. I'd like to thank those people who have made donations for my free content. Perhaps you've received some clarity, some direction, motivation, even some inspiration from these YouTube videos. And if you would like to donate, I have left my PayPal link in the description box down below with all of my contact details. Now, here on Walk In Angel Ariel's Weekly Wisdom, we do choose runes, oracle cards, and tarot cards, but we always start by looking to the astrological heavens to see how the planetary energies will be affecting all of us. And after a relatively quiet week, we've entered a huge cosmic soup of energies, because on July 17th, we had the lunar nodes switch signs, the North Node moving into Aries and the South Node moving into Libra. You know, when the lunar nodes change signs, it's a big deal, as it begins a new karmic cycle of 18 years, and it opens the doorway for a change to occur as it absolutely shifts our focus. You might have felt a bit strange, as if you were in a bit of a trough between the Capricorn full moon that was back on July 3rd and the Cancer new moon, which happened on the same date that those nodes switched signs. That was on the July 17th. Many of my clients saying that they did feel as if they were in a world between worlds, like they were in a bit of a trough. It might have felt that way to you too, but the energies are quickly transmuting, and they're releasing all that was no longer beneficial for our soul's highest good. And it's going away in order to make room for something totally new to manifest now. Now, you might have noticed that some relationships are falling out of your life. Your jobs may not resonate with you anymore. Where you live may not, or your attitudes and perceptions about yourself and your whole perspective on your life has totally changed. In fact, my angelic family, who I, Angel Ariel, am part of, we are known as the Posse of Angels. We are asking everyone to look back 18 years to the years 2004 to 2006 and see what was happening in your life at that time. Well, I looked back, and personally, after establishing my Angel Healing House business only 6 months previously, in 2003, my business clientele exploded. This was on the Sunshine Coast where I was living in Queensland, Australia. And I had 25 to 30 people at my twice monthly meditation nights. I was teaching Reiki to so many students. I held Reiki share days for my students to practice. I was doing Reiki healings, delivering channeled angel readings, holding spiritual workshops and seminars. This trip down memory lane has made me very excited to see this new cycle of 18 years and the new ways that Spirit will guide and direct me now to passionately and to creatively serve. So have a look back. Just think to yourself, what was going on in those years for you, 2004 to 2006? Even if we can't remember back to what was occurring at that time, one could look at the lunar nodes as our soul's compass, as they indicate the overview of our direction in life, with the North Node pointing to our future, our destiny, and the South Node pointing to our past. With the nodes changing signs, they bring our attention to a different area of our life. Again, it could be relationships, it could be career, it could be our health, it could be our money, and it gets us to integrate the characteristics of these new signs that the nodes will shift into, which are the North going into Aries, that's our destiny, that's our karmic fated journey, and Libra, which is towards our path. Now, Aries is the pioneer sign, the one who is the instigator and makes things happen. Libra is the sign of harmony, balance, and equal partnerships, but it is also the sign of justice, of fairness, and balance. So if there are any relationships that are out of balance, be ready to be shown the truth of any of the relationships that do not fully serve you in joy any longer. We are still very much under the July 17th Cancer new moon energies, and these are, being in Cancer, are soft and gentle. They're guiding us to spend more time in comfort and to rest. Take time to honor your emotions and keep an eye on those things home-related, things to make your environment more harmonious and more comfortable. The Cancer new moon, like all new moons, brings into our lives new events or opportunities that align us with feelings of purpose. Take note, do pay attention to things that manifest under this new moon to guide us in the direction that the universe is now pointing us in. Now, the sign of Cancer is often a misunderstood sign as just being shy, maybe introverted and sensitive. But there's so much more depth to this watery sign. Cancerians may appear reticent, but if there is something that they want, there is no other sign that is more tenacious, more resilient, and determined. Just think of a crab when we come upon it at the beach and we confront it. Oh, those claws go up. It uses its pool of instinctual, watery depth of wisdom, and it just goes after what it wants, without being bogged down by over-strategizing and overthinking something to death. In this way, they are like Jiminy Cricket in Pinocchio, who tells his friend Pinocchio to always let your conscience be your guide. And in this case, our conscience is our intuition. By tapping into this Cancerian, deep instinctual knowing, it will help us enormously to take full advantage of those opportunities, to seize them and say yes, and not miss out when they are presented. With Cancer being very grounded in its instinct and emotions, its energies are quick and potent, recognizing potential in every present moment. Now, having gone through a tremendous karmic release of old timelines in these past 3 weeks, and quite frankly, we have done nothing but release, and release karma during May, June, and especially June and July. And now many of us are left with a feeling of being stripped bare when it comes to our work, again, our relationships, and as I mentioned previously, with many moving, our homes as well. With this sense of having our former timelines disappearing because they were no longer in resonance with our newly innovated and elevated energies now. Many of us were left in no man's, or for that matter, no woman's land. We were feeling like fish that had been washed up on the shore, gasping for breath, trying to maintain breathing as our eyes were locked on the sea, anticipating when is the next tide going to bring in some sustenance for us with our new timelines. Now, the posse of angels wish for all of us to know that this is not something that we can figure out. It's not something we can push, and it's not even something that we can make happen, as this is a new fated karmic cycle that we will be stepping into. And it's a big if you are open to receive, if you're open to follow your intuition, if you're able to be like that crab and just go for it, when your instinct gives you a wiggle or gives you a shiver or says, this gets my attention, and go in that direction. And by following spirit, we really can't put a foot wrong now. And although being in between timelines may not feel all that comfortable, it's brought many to a stage in which we can now see some of the energies of compromise and settling for less that went into creating our former timelines. And we realize that we can now create a new, uncompromising energy to make it the best timeline of our life. As we go into this last week in July, our new path may not have shown up as yet, but the underlying feeling of many in the collective is a newfound sense of freedom and liberation, having given ourselves permission to have the life that our heart desires. And with that energy and the determination now to not accept anything less, many are feeling quite triumphant, truly coming home to and knowing just how sovereign, powerful, and multidimensional we are as divine eternal beings. Many now comprehend the enormity of realizing that it was we and we alone who were creating, molding, designing, producing, writing the script, and with spirit directing the movie of our lives. In this way, many in the collective have come home to acceptance. Not only acceptance for themselves, but acceptance for what they previously created, and they're not beating themselves up for it. This has freed many of trying to get anybody, group, or organization or circumstance to validate, to acknowledge, or praise us in order to find our sense of identity. In many cases, we were programmed to chase external acknowledgement, which only diminished our deep wisdom that our inner intuitive barometer and connection to co-create with spirit was all we would ever need to fulfill our heartfelt dreams. Not feeling beholden to anyone or anything any longer, this sense of freedom is getting many in the collective to spread their wings and fly. And yes, for many, that does mean new locations. The posse of angels is likening our energies to those of the Chariot card in the tarot. The Chariot is a card of recognition, promotion, rewards, and success after hard-won efforts. You know, it's funny that the Chariot card is often read as a card of movement and travel, because in traditional tarot, the charioteer is stationary. He's just sitting there. He's determined, steadfast, and resolute in his knowing that it is not the movement of the chariot, but it is his warrior spirit energy inside that has brought him his victory. The posse of angels is reminding us all that as we go into August, to be the charioteer, as things will start moving for many of us to fulfill our dreams, and we need to be grounded. We need to be like that crab and act, ready to act, ready to make quick, intuitive decisions. Be like the charioteer who operates with steely-eyed intention, taking decisive action solely aligned now with our soul's highest purpose. Many in the collective are now redefining their intentions for their life and making sure that their life is reflective of those intentions. Instead of feeling a void or being overwhelmed by having been stripped bare by old timelines and them disappearing, replace that feeling with a feeling of being empowered, with a feeling of being free to now start dreaming bigger than you ever imagined, living an inspired life without compromises, one that is now aligned only with your ascended joy. The redefining of our lives could only have happened once we closed out karmic cycles, and in many cases were 100% willing to start all over again. But we're not sad about starting all over again, because this time we really know what we wish to create, and we have the experience of wisdom, of being able to utilize all of that wealth of wisdom which we've garnered up until now to create something so much more glorious. And when I went to my runes, this one came out. It's most representative of having completed a cycle and starting again, going through the whole rune cycle, and we come back to the beginning, to Manats. It's the rune of the self. This is the starting point after having completed, some would say, the hero's journey. And the hero's journey is where the hero sets off to rescue the damsel in distress, or slay the dragon, or to bring back the treasure from the pirateers or the thieves who stole it. But the hero's journey is never about any of those. It's about what the hero learns about himself and comes back home somewhat changed because of his experiences. So we have all been through this hero's journey, which is always the quest for finding ourselves. Think how much you have changed in the last, especially 3 years. Excuse me. We've reached this beginner's point because we now have the clarity and are embracing a willingness to change something. Because so many have come home to having a beautiful, divine relationship with themselves, then all possible right divine relationships will present themselves. And the posse of angels are adding that this will be a time as we go into August that many will be reintroduced to their soul families, the ones most like them in a divine energetic signature that will be working and collaborating with, and they will become like family for us. Very comfortable, very yummy energies. Be proud of yourself as to how much you've released, all that it was not you, the compromises, the concessions. But the counsel of the posse of angels is to remain modest, knowing that we are now under the will of heaven's help. In this way, we will be given our true direction for our life to fulfill our soul's purpose. Yes, we are the human component in the creation of our lives. But if we remain receptive, if we remain open to those intuitive pulses flowing from the divine, we will strive to live life in a non-ordinary way. By ordinary, my angelic family, the posse of angels, means solely by logic, justification, and rationale. When this rune presents itself, it is a major time of growth and restructuring. It's reminding us to be best humble, devoted service in great joy. And they're saying, welcome home to yourself. Love that energies. So I went to and where is it? It's over here. I went to my Wisdom of the Oracle deck. And as I was shuffling, they said to pull a 3-card story. The first part of the story came out with this one. And this card is To Be Fair. And to be fair is a number 38, which is a number 11, which is the number of mastery. We have mastered ourselves, having gone through burning away all that was like the phoenix being burnt down to the ashes, releasing so much, all of those karmic energies, that karmic cycle, and now we're stepping into the card To Be Fair. This card's message that many of us are moving from. We're moving from a place of inertia, stillness, and feeling motionless when it came to seeing some kind of physical, some kind of fulfillment, tangible, a thing of our dreams coming true, to now going to a place of not just being motionless, but to a place of doing. In this motionless time, we discovered so much about ourselves. We discovered things like patience, tolerance, acceptance for what is. But the scales are now balancing into a time of action, of no longer waiting. Perhaps you have felt like you've been giving and giving and giving for so long. With those scales balancing now, it will be a time of receiving in magical ways, for this is the card of the laws of cause and effect. What you have sown in the past, you will definitely now reap. Many are entering a miraculous time of recompense, perhaps even negotiations, signing of contracts, where all justice and all balance will be restored. The posse of angels is drawing our attention to the wise owl sitting on her crown. Look at that cute little owl sitting upon her crown. And they're saying, make sure you not only read over your new contracts, but step up and use your voice to amend or change your contract for it to be honoring to you in all ways. Why? Because you deserve it and you have earned it. And just from my point of view, I would get a lawyer to look over it, a lawyer you can trust that will look over it and make sure it is a-okay. So that's the first card, To Be Fair. All those things that were out of balance, all those things that were not just, are being brought back into balance and back into truth. And we can see that in the world with so many things now being revealed, how we were lied to, and all the truth that is coming out. So the next card that is coming is this card. The second card in our story after To Be Fair is this one. It's the Here and the Now card. And it's number 32, which is a 5. And it's certainly the card, and in numerology, the number of change. The biggest change for many in the collective is that they are now no longer rehashing and lamenting about the past, and they're not worried or stressed about the future, as our future is only determined by what occurs in our present. We're only focused on the now, for only this moment counts. And there she's sitting on an egg. The past is past. The future, again, is only being determined by what we do, say, think, and act and action in our present moment. So there is no future. The posse of angels is sharing that this has happened as a result of our elevated consciousness and our bodies changing to high frequency crystalline vessels to hold more and more light. This has raised our frequencies, our energetic frequencies so high to be on par now with the vibrational frequency of the energies across the veil, where there is no time. There's only 0 point, as all things occur at once. Knowing this, we now treat the moment in front of us as sacrosanct, as holding infinite possibilities and potential for the fulfillment of our intentions and dreams to manifest. And since we know we're creating with spirit in order for that to occur, why would we put our focus on anywhere else but in the magical, synchronistic, serendipitous moment of the now? Here and now reminds us to create our dreams now. Don't wait for anything, releasing a desire for an outcome, for it's in the creations of it that the outcome already exists. With these current off-the-chart energies that the collective has access to now, we now have access to the wonder of creation in a timeless soup of energies in which what you say, what you think, what you feel, what you act upon, and your focus and attention becomes your reality. So stay present and stay conscious. Conscious of the things you say, the words you use, and the feelings that you have. Stay here and now, for that's where all the magic is. Third in this story is the tribe. Oh, look at that giraffe. He's reaching out to give the little giraffe a kiss. And it's a number 8 card. And what these present, new, balanced, fair, and just energies are matching in exact energetic signature is our new soul tribe. A new community. It's a sense of comfortable belonging, of like-minded friendships, and a new family to connect and to collaborate with. This kinship will manifest for many of us in the collective for the purpose of working together for the greatest good of ourselves and something which hasn't happened for a long time, the greatest good of humanity. This community, or our new soul tribe, will bring us great joy. It will inspire us to contribute to the whole. When so many in the collective felt that they were unheard, they went unnoticed, the connections of these soul tribes is heralding an unprecedented time when many will finally be seen and recognized for our contributions to the planet. Some words to describe these new soul families are yummy, comfortable, familiar. It's like an old friend that perhaps you haven't spoken to. I just had this experience of a very dear friend. He started off as a client of mine in when did we move to the States? I think it was 2008 is when I met him. And then through the years, he moved away, and we moved on. My husband and myself moved on, and we kept in touch. I haven't heard from him possibly in the last 5 years or so, yet he popped up on social media, and it's yummy because it's like no time has passed between us. And that's what someone in your soul tribe. There's an ease of conversation. There's a like-mindedness with the person, and it feels like a relationship of ease and grace and support and just being comfortable and very loving. So that's beautiful there. Let's go to my tarot cards and see what comes out for us. Yes, I'm using my deck, the Angel Healing House tarot cards. There's me. Okay. There we go. I mentioned on my Angel Healing House Blog Talk Radio this week that Angel Healing House Blog Talk Radio is going to be moving time zones. My big news is that my husband Pete and myself are moving from the West Coast in the States, and we're moving to the East Coast. So Angel Healing House Blog Talk Radio weekly show will be at 10 a.m., but that will be Eastern Standard Time. So it'll be, I guess, 3 hours earlier for those people that were listening when it was Pacific Standard Time. But that's going to be in August. There's one more show next week. That's going to be Pacific Standard Time. For all those details, you can look on the Angel Healing House Blog Talk Radio site. So you may not be able to see it, but the whole house is boxed up. And we have movers, and we have we've booked movers, and so many things are in place, and we're getting very excited about this new adventure. We are part of that collective that have felt like it is time to move on from where we have been here in Los Angeles for 8 years, and we are moving on. So let's go to the cards and see what other messages are coming forth for us this week. Oh, before I do that, okay, let's go here to these lovely cards. This one actually is called the Gold Foil Tarot, and I love Gold Foil Tarot. I love these cards. These are just so beautiful. Let's choose 2 cards, and we'll put them aside to see how it perhaps gives us just another layer of messaging for the cards that I pick out and that come out for this week's reading. Okay. 1, 2, 3. And we'll take the top 2 cards. There we are. The top 2 cards are there. I won't look at them. 2 cards, and I'll put them over there. See what comes out. Okay, first card for us. How much have I been talking about karma? That's karmic cycle that's ending. This cycle that began in 2004 and 2006. Think back to that time. Maybe you moved. Oh, actually, during that time, I moved, Pete asked to marry me, and I moved from the Gold Coast in Queensland, Australia, up to the Sunshine Coast to his house, which eventually became our home when we married. And so it was moving, and it was also my business was moving. Think back. It's a 10, which is a number 1. Again, new beginnings. These karmic cycles are happening. But this time, because we're so clear and we've resolved things back to find closure with unconditional love and forgiveness and not being triggered, we will be like Gabriel, my mouse, in all of my major arcana cards. He is very fortunate because he found lots of popcorn in a discarded popcorn box. This time, the karma that we will be creating as we go in will be lovely, because we are very conscious about creating life now with our words, our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions, on what we focus on. I love that came out first. Next card. There's another major arcana card. We have justice. What was I just talking about? To be fair. To be fair is look, both of those have scales in them. Both of them. So this is just confirmation that everything must balance out now. Everything. Whatever relationships do not serve you anymore. You don't have to be mean about it and, say, I hate you anymore. I hate you, and then goodbye. It will naturally drift out of your life. The same thing is because those relationships, those jobs, where we were living, in many cases, they were created with a whole energetic signature that we had because we've changed so dramatically. And everything is brought back into truth and justice and balance now. And with like the blindfold on the Lady of Justice, it's all intuitive now. It's not something that we have to figure out logically and push. It's just allowing ourselves to drift along like those silent swans and let ourselves, our little legs are going underneath the water, but let the waters of our life, which is spirit, direct us now to that balance and that truth as to where we'll be living, what relationships we'll be having, and those things that will be presented to us to be of best service. Love it, love it, love it. Next card that's coming out for us. Okay. I don't usually read cards upside down. Actually, and in this deck, I say, read them right side up. That's why Angel Ariel, myself, is only upright on the back. But this card did come out in reverse, and so I'm going to read it in reverse. This is it in the upright. It's the Hanged Man, but it came out reversed. The Hanged Man is often a card of suspension, inertia. It's a card of being motionless. It's a card of feeling like you're stagnant and nothing that you do is gonna bring about any results. It's like pushing molasses along a flat surface, and it ain't going anywhere. Okay, so this is not only a whole change in perspective, but this is a change in feeling like you've been suspended. This is like movement forward. If it's like this, in the tarot, it's usually traditionally a time out for us to see things from a different perspective, but now with it coming out in the reverse, it is a time when things get to move forward as we go into this last week in July. Many of us are going to go from woe to go. Okay, next card. I just noticed something. 1, 2, 3. This is the fourth major arcana card that we've gotten, and it's the card of judgment. This is the card of, you see this fellow here? He's going from the dark woods into the light. Now he can see the face of God Source Creator leading him. Archangel Gabriel is blowing the trumpet, directing him along this new path of the butterflies, absolutely transforming his life. And many of us will be put on the path of our next journey in order to walk into the light, in order to create with others the new structures and systems of light here on planet Earth. And it's such an exciting time. 2023, the beginning of it was kind of like an incubation period, and now we're going to be going out of the birth canal and into a world which we're going to be creating, and it's such a wonderful time. The Judgment card is a card of a new phase of your life and a new beginning, a fresh start for you. Wow, 4 major arcana cards. Whew. Take that in. Just take that in. How many more would you like me to, Posse of Angels? Oh, they said keep going. 3 of Cups. Okay, 3 of Cups is the card of our soul family. We're coming together. We're toasting. We're so happy. It's a card of celebration. It's a card of coming together, celebrating our hard-won efforts, celebrating our joy in coming together again, celebrating in our endeavors, our projects, in working together. And the sum of the parts is greater than the whole. That's what the Posse of Angels are saying in this jubilant, excited energy of working now with our new soulmate, our new soul tribe family. Wow. Okay. 1 more? Okay, they're saying 2 more. I think I did mention the inner child, or this is the card of radiance. This is the card of the bluebird of happiness. It's the card of sunshiny, happy people. That's what it is. And many of us, and happy birthday to all of you Leos out there, now that we're in Leo season. Leo is the sign of the sun, and it's the proud, the brave, the courageous, stepping into this new, wonderful part of our journey, and bringing so much joy to the world through our efforts, through our energies, and just opening up this inner child energy of spunkiness and spiritedness, and just looking to the horizon, and knowing that we are creating this beautiful new world of light that we're gifted with now to create. Okay, one more. Okay, they're saying one more, and that's it. What a great card to end with. This is the World card. The World card is the culmination of everything that all the wisdom that we've garnered. And yes, we are starting over, but we're not starting over, without having learned the lessons. It's like we get, like the Fool card in the tarot they're showing me, where he's carrying all of his lessons that he's learned on his back. It's the culmination of that karmic cycle, and we're going to step into the new one. And look at that laurel wreath. The world, the woman on the universe card is handing you the laurel wreath because of all that you've done and all that you've contributed with your love and your kindness and your generosity and your compassion and just your, not just, but your love for humanity and your wish for peace and justice and truth and balance to come back to our beloved planet. The two cards that came out is the Fool card. I just mentioned the Fool card. I must be psychic. Okay, so the Fool card. And the Fool card is a card of starting over. It's zero. It's getting back to square one. It's also the card of allowing spirit to direct our lives. That's what it is. Allowing spirit to, like a child, come to me as a child. Therefore, you can be led to the most miraculous and serendipitous and synchronistic connections and opportunities to fulfill your dreams. And of course, what we have with it is the Six of Wands, which is the card of victory, triumph, promotions, rewards, being triumphant in our victory as we start on our new paths once again. So I hope all that's been helpful for you. Thank you so much. Do remember that there's one more show on Angel Healing House Blog Talk Radio, which is going to be at 10 a.m. on Thursday at Pacific Standard Time. And then as we go into August with our move, there will be in a new time zone, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go out, everyone, and fashion an absolutely beautiful life for yourself. And as always, I'm wishing you love and angel blessings. If you'd like to book for any of my services, I've left my contact details in the description box down below. Intuitive counseling, channeled messages in those angel readings, ancestral healings, past life clearings, as well as those incredible, transformative, recharging, energizing, tranquil, peaceful, and serenity giving Reiki healing sessions, which can be done anywhere in the world through distant healing, online, and through intuitive counseling. Take care, everyone, and have a beautiful week. Bye.